Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to share my personal experience of using Blinkist, a leading book summary app. I've been using this for the last 2 years. I've listened to over 120, actually 134 titles as of today. I've gained valuable insights into various subjects. So if you haven't already, make sure to check out the previous video where we've covered book summary apps in general. Okay, going into the review, habits. Before we talk about book summary apps or Blinkist, let's talk about habits. reading a, reading or anything that helps you learn is incredibly powerful, and if you do it 15 minutes, a 30-minute every day for years, the effect is just compounding, similar to going to a gym or picking up any healthy habit or eating healthy. If you keep doing it over time and if you are consistent, it always compounds. So it's inevitable that you will benefit from it. And Blinkist is an app that can actually help you pick up a new habit, and it's almost inevitable that you will get better at something if you keep doing something like listening to a book summary every day. Okay, and it's a great replacement tool for social media. We will go later into it. Remember, anything that you invest your time on, you will get better. The one exception, though, I might say is social media, because you spend a lot of time, and it's possible that you get nothing back from it. I mean, you might get some instant entertainment, but you kind of, if you keep doing it over years, what did you get from it? Probably not. I quit social media more or less almost every platform. I still use YouTube to learn, but pretty much everything else is a no-no for me unless I learn from that media. So in this video today, let's understand a little bit on how book summary helps create new habits, and we'll go more in detail about Blinkist, and we'll also recap about what the great alternatives from for Blinkist and more. Okay, going in. Blinkist, what is it, and why should I take Blinkist? I mean, how does it help me? Okay, let's explain. It's a book summary app that provides condensed, easily digestible summaries of thousands of nonfiction books. Each summary, also known as they call it Blink, focuses on the key insights and takeaways from the original book. It allows you to absorb the essence of the book in a fraction of the time that it would take to read the entire book. So, why would you use a book summary app like Blinkist? Well, a few reasons. One, it saves a lot of time. In today's fast-paced world, everyone is busy doing something, so it's really hard to get some time to read a book, let alone read multiple books. So Blinkist allows you to save time and still gain valuable knowledge by condensing and distilling the key ideas and lessons from the book, and then giving it into a 10-12 minute summary that you can either read or listen. It's also efficient for learning. When you focus on the most important takeaways from the book, you almost remove a lot of fluff. I mean, it is truth. There are a lot of books that you actually have to read to get the full value, but there are also books that are, let's say, 30% value and 70% fluff. So if you remove the fluff, what you get is the value, and this is what Blinkist helps you get. It helps you very get efficient with learning, and it also reinforces existing knowledge. So taking an example, I love this example because this is very close to me. I love a book called Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. It explains how our mind works, the two ways of thinking, where you make fast, instant, almost instinctive decisions, and the slow mind, which takes its own time when you have to decide pros and cons, etc. And it, Daniel Kahneman goes in depth about how brain works and when you should use what system and how to recognize when you jump into a decision where you shouldn't, etc. This is a lot of knowledge, but it's also a lot of knowledge, so you kind of tend to forget. And listening to the Blinkist once a while just maybe helps me remind of what I learned. So I love this with Blinkist. It doesn't give you the entire book, but it just keeps reinforcing what you already know. It helps me discover new books. For example, I checked out 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma yesterday. I didn't like it. I don't disagree with the book. I just don't think it's worth spending all that money and a few days of time reading that book just to get that summary. It was enough for me to listen to a 15-minute Blinkist. I do not recommend Blinkist solely for just discovering new books. It helps you, but you might also skim through something without giving it thought. So be careful. It just helps me. Listening to that 10 minutes was enough for me to decide if I like it or not. So check out using the free trial. Try a few books that you have listened to, and try a few books that you haven't listened to, and then see how Blinkist gives you that, and see if you can connect with the summaries. It's definitely a better use of time. Endless social media scrolling versus Blinkist. Blinkist wins any day, anytime. And in a nutshell, Blinkist or other book summary apps provide a convenient, time-saving, efficient way to learn from a range of non-fiction books that helps you grow personally and professionally. Why wouldn't you? What I personally like about Blinkist, and just going back, I've listened to over 130 titles, so my opinion is formed over the last 2 years, listening to hundreds of titles, and I also listen to some of them more often than once. Actually, some of them probably every month. For example, thinking fast and slow, I go back to it every month. I go back to Richard Kiyosaki's books from a time again, Rich Dad Poor Dad, for example. I go to Atomic Habits every month, couple of months. It's just a good reminder for me. So I use Blinkist a lot, and this is what I like about Blinkist. The summaries are very high quality. When I say very high quality, I test any new app like getAbstract, Instaread, Storyshots, Headway App. I test them using books that I've already read, so I can connect with the summary and see if that makes sense. For me, Blinkist is great at it because it does give you the crux of the book without actually making it too boring. So that is one for me. And the second thing I love about Blinkist is it is human. It's not a AI, talking through stuff. It's actually a human. When the Blinkist opens, it says, "Hi, I'm James from Blinkist," and then instantly for me, it's a human connection. It's not some AI saying, you know, you know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, I want to know that it's a human behind that actual voice that I'm hearing. They also add layers of music, and this is fun for me because when there was a book about a tennis coach, and you hear the tennis balls being hit, so it kind of connects with you better. There's a book where it gets a little dry, and then they add a little bit of guitar in the background, a little bit of piano in the background, so it just keeps you more engaged. Remember, this is also a little bit of gamification. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, they all do this. They kind of find ways to get you hooked. Blinkist does that as well, but you have to realize that being addicted is not a problem. Being addicted to what could be a problem. So I would rather be addicted to Blinkist, which helps me learn and grow, rather than social media that just sucks my time. Infographics, they've started infographics. I'm not a big fan of infographics. People say human mind can pay attention only for 8 seconds. I think that's bullshit. When you want to learn, when you are interested in the topic, you can pay attention for minutes and hours. So infographics for me is too simplistic. I don't like it personally, and I don't use it. It's great for people who want to just read the cover of the book summary, but it is there if you want it. And what I love about Blinkist is we'll get talk about pricing, but the subscriptions can be shared with another person. What it means is you basically buy one subscription, but you can have another person. You can send a copy of this link to your friend, and they can download the app and they can actually use it for free. It's If you are two people in a household, it's both of you getting a subscription, or it could be a friend or anyone. So the point is you get two subscriptions for the price of one, and that makes this a great deal. Because and the next one, before we get to the pricing, let's quickly talk about what isn't great with Blinkist. And I must admit, some of this is common. The summaries can sometimes be too detailed or not detailed enough. If you're picky, I would say it's a problem, but it's a problem with every book summary app. Sometimes they are detailed, sometimes they aren't detailed enough. I mean, yes, I mean, coffee tastes like coffee. Some people like it, some people don't. Sorry, can't do much about it. And one of the other downsides is there are 5,500 titles. It's a great thing, but could also be a problem. If you aren't sure what you want, then you might be scrolling around to find the best book, but you don't need to. Uh, but it can keep you, it can get a little bit confusing if you see a lot of titles around the similar same topic. So I think it's a problem. I think maybe one thing I would probably give as a feedback to the Blinkist team. I don't think you're going to ever watch this video, but if you do, add a rating system so we can rate the book summary, the quality of the summaries, and I don't need to send you an email. So things that can be better with Blinkist. Now going into pricing. If you pay annually, and you can try for free for a week, there's a link below that you can use. Try Blinkist for free, and if you subscribe to the annual plan, it costs about $7 a month in US terms, and of course, it could go slightly up or down depending on your geography and currency. But if you can share that with two people, that's literally about $3.50 per person per month to listen to basically 5,000 titles a month. That's the cost of a coffee. Actually, I live in Denmark. That's not the cost of coffee. I cannot afford a coffee at 3.5 US dollars. It's more expensive than that. So it's uh, it's a throwaway money basically for me. But if you put that on Blinkist, it sits there. It keeps reminding you. It just you need the polite nudge to get you to do things that you don't want to do. And Blinkist is a great option for you to basically just start getting into good habits. If you choose to pay monthly, then you pay a lot more, $15 per month. It's a lot more compared to the annual plan, but it is on par with peers. So pricing is great, and I think it is one of the strongest points of Blinkist. It's a really popular app. It has a lot of titles, and it's also very reasonably priced. I would think this is on par with market. Okay, that leads us to the next question. Is Blinkist the best in the market? Are there others? Of course, we're going to answer that. There are a lot of apps, but I'm picking the top three for the purpose of this blog. I have a video that talks about the top three book summary apps in detail, the ones here. I would also, in a later video, cover apps like Storyshots, Instaread. They don't make into the top three for me yet. I might change my position when I spend a little more time with these apps, but for now, these are my top alternatives for Blinkist. First is Blinkist. Why? It's just got great variety on titles. The summaries are great. The pricing is brilliant. I said 8 to 10, but I think it's closer to 7 to 8. I've seen different markets tend to have slightly different prices, but it's around this range between 7 to 8. And I love the 7-day trial on the annual plan, so you can try it for a week before you actually commit. The one thing I would add there now is the 2-for-1 offer where you can actually share the subscription with somebody else. Cons compared to getAbstract, which is my number 3 choice, I'll get there. getAbstract has 25,000 titles compared to Blinkist 5,500, but I don't know anybody who would need 25,000 titles, but I would pick that as a con in comparison. Number 2 for me is Headway App. Why? The title collection is smaller, about 1,500 titles when I checked last, but it has some of the most popular titles that you would look for in a book summary app. Why is it too? The pricing is brilliant. When you do a annual subscription, it's even slightly cheaper than Blinkist, so it makes it slightly even more affordable than Blinkist, but it doesn't have the sharing option, so kind of you decide what you want. If you're sharing with two, Blinkist is a no-brainer. But if you don't, then Headway might be slightly cheaper for you. There's a link in the description below. Check it out. What could be better with Blinkist? The title collection is smaller. So if you don't find titles on Headway, then you almost have no choice either to go to Blinkist or Headway app. Sorry, either to Blinkist or getAbstract. And the monthly plans are expensive. It's $19 per month when you choose to pay monthly, and that I think is a little bit of a stretch. Number 3 for me is getAbstract. Why is this number 3? It's got the best summaries in the market. It's very close to Blinkist. So when I say Blinkist is 99%, getAbstract for me is 100%. getAbstract is from a guy who wrote this book called The Art of Thinking Clearly. He's taken like 200 plus biases that we have, and he's condensed them into like 3-page each bias. It's a lovely book. Actually, I got started with getAbstract first. I read the book first. I thought, oh, what is this guy about? And then I got into getAbstract. From there, I got into Blinkist. So actually, getAbstract was my first book summary app. It's got the best summaries. It's just got unlimited. It's 25,000 titles. I don't think I will ever exhaust that. But why is it number three? Because of the pricing. It's slightly more expensive compared to Blinkist or Headway app. It costs $25 a month if you choose to pay monthly, and it costs around $16 to $18 depending on where you live and what currency you pay if you choose to pay annually. But if you can afford that money, of the three choices, getAbstract is the best choice. If you cannot afford $16 to $18 a month, I would highly recommend Blinkist. It strikes the perfect balance between pricing and quality, and basically it's the best value for money. There's Storyshots and Instaread, which are worth checking out, but I wouldn't put them in my top three. All right, folks, just as a disclaimer and being honest, some of these links are affiliate links. This channel and my blog is user supported, so I might make a tiny bit of money. So, maybe a coffee or two if you choose to buy an annual subscription, but that helps me keep running the site and this channel, so I can keep doing more videos and write more blogs. Thank you very much for the support.